Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. I feel like there is a trend here. It feels like every company is doing a stock split. I think some are with good intentions and make sense. Others are just a gimmick. And if you can't tell by my tone, I think that the GameStop stock split is a gimmick. Now I'll give you a few of the details. I think most of y'all know my thoughts on GameStop, but I'll kind of run through everything real quick. Now I want to double check the dates to ensure accuracy here. So they are doing a 4-to-1 stock split. The company, as of this recording, is just above $100. I think from the article that I'm looking at is from last Friday, was like $118 a share. So those who have shares on Monday the 18th, you are going to be, who have shares on that day or before, you're going to get the 4-to-1 stock split, which will happen on July 21st. Now, the thing you need to know about GameStop is I am not saying that you can't make money from these types of swings. I'm just saying it's real dangerous and it's real speculative, and it's not based on the basis of the company. Okay, so that's my concern here. And I've also said this, that not every dip is worth buying, and also not every split is worth being excited about. I think this is one of those instances, because a company like Google that is also doing a stock split, I think on the 18th, we can double check the date, but they're doing their stock split this month, and that was a very expensive stock, more than $2,000, and it's going to split and appear more affordable. Now, you and I can invest in any stock we want for $1, $5, whatever it is that we choose, because we like fractional shares over here, but it does make it more liquid in terms of options contracts and other things, and other people just like to be able to buy full shares. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, but people who like that, they're able to afford a bit more. And for a company like Google, which you know, you use, you don't see it going extinct anytime soon, they're still expanding in some areas, that obviously makes sense. Shopify, if I squint hard enough, I can see it makes sense. Tesla doing another stock split, I think that's a little much, but it makes some sense. We just went through an Amazon stock split. It was at one point over $3,000 a share. That makes sense. When it's really expensive, you want to appear to be less expensive and more affordable, and you want to get people back into the stock market. All of those make sense. And that doesn't mean that any company that's $100 or $200 can't split. We saw Apple do this. Apple did it 2 years ago and they split. But again, what is the thing that is a common thread here? And this is the type of logic and thinking process that you want to have as an investor, because similar to the stuff that Elon Musk has done, similar to all of the hype and craze we went through 2 years ago, is not going through this critical thinking. Okay, and while stock splits are hot, it just sounds like GameStop is just hopping on something to continue to keep the ball rolling. In fact, when this announcement came out not too long ago, the stock jumped 12% based on this news. And the question is, why? What and why? Like, what is GameStop doing in context that is making it 12% more valuable? And what is the stock split supposed to do and mean? I can tell you, and I own Google, or Alphabet rather, so I can tell you that people are still going to spend money on marketing. People are still going to buy Android phones. They're still going to be on YouTube. I can tell you all those things as to why the company has a future and why it could be more valuable in 5 years than what it is today. I can't say the same thing about GameStop. They've done some things, but not to the extent that they're going to avoid what I think is a blockbuster fate. I've said this for years now. They are the next blockbuster. You are seeing it happen in very, very slow motion. And they're trying to game the stock market to stay alive for as long as they possibly can. They just fired their chief financial officer not too long ago. I think that was last week. Like, things aren't going well. And the only reason that it is still here today is primarily due to the excitement of 2020 and the pandemic. Had that not occurred, perhaps, maybe GameStop would already be out of business. Remember, the world is moving to digital, okay? Whether it's a PlayStation 5 for gaming anyway, whether it's a PlayStation 5, the Xbox One, or whatever it is, people are buying those consoles from Microsoft and Microsoft and Sony, and they are downloading games from those from like Activision and Microsoft again. Perhaps Google in some cases, that's more so on your phone, but that's where the world is going. GameStop survived and was made to buy and sell games, to trade in games. And if I am buying digital copies and I can get a game from literally anywhere, even direct from the publisher or something like that, what do I need a GameStop for? Especially if you have physical locations that you have to pay for. Recession or not, I don't think that's going to play a factor into whether GameStop survives or thrives. But the problem is the way that gaming is moving to does not require a middleman who buys and sells and trades in games. That's not going to be sustainable. The other thing too is that consoles are lasting a lot longer. If you have a PlayStation 4, if you have a PlayStation 5, they don't make those every 2 years. They last sometimes 8, 9 years at a time. So you don't have that many opportunities to go and like trade something in and get something newer than you may have had back when like Game Boy was popular. I don't even think they make those anymore. But in your case, you get what I'm saying here. The key is you have to understand the business and be able, and I said this on Friday with the Elon Musk thing, that you have to be able to separate, you know, what is fact and what is the business case, what is the business sense from hype. And this just sounds like a hype move to get people excited to buy, and hopefully they can make some money off the volatility or just keep their name in the headlines to stay alive. It just does not make sense. And I'm telling you now, it's the same way I've been telling you about Twitter, same way I've been telling you about Dogecoin. There's a development on Dogecoin too. I think Elon Musk said you can use it as the Boring Company or something crazy. We'll do a whole video about that as well. But as an investor, you want to be astute. You want to be wise about how you spend your money. You're not going to be perfect, okay? I'm not perfect either. And we've been doing this for 50 years and they're still not perfect. However, you do want to have sound logic and be able to go back and say, look, this is what I believed about the economy. This is what I believed about the stock, and we were right or we were wrong. What you don't want to do is just blindly jump into things. And what you also don't want to do, and I think is even more important, is don't invest based on what other people feel. I think that is the biggest issue that I've seen over the last 2 years or so. It's because I bought Dogecoin, I bought GameStop, I bought AMC, I bought whatever, because people feel passionately about that company. Not, is the company making more money? Not, you know, they got this major deal from whatever. Like, I can see if you bought Activision because of their deal with Microsoft, okay, that's an actual thing that happened, right? Not just, oh, I'm just passionate about it, or somebody tweeted about it, Twitter, and I'm just gonna hop into it anyway. That excitement, that's not something that's going to last long, and that's something that can get you burned time and time again. So use this as a way to say, look, this is hype. This is not value. And even though you can make money off of hype, the problem is it is extremely difficult to time. It's extremely difficult to know when to get in and when to get out. And I'm sure people who have owned AMC and GameStop have gotten burned before. There are times you could have got in, made some money, and you wish you would have stayed until it hit 400. Wish you would have stayed until 450, and then things don't pan out that way. You could argue the same things about some cryptocurrencies, not all. But again, going back to Bitcoin, you know how I feel about Bitcoin. I still own it. I'm not selling. I also have a very small allocation to it. Is that, remember, everybody in just go back to your Twitter timeline to, or you can do a search for 2021 and see how many people were promoting Bitcoin going to 100,000, and now it's at like 20. Okay, the only reason they had was just because it was supposed to, not because there were real catalysts or events behind it to really help it move forward, outside of a few headlines here or there, like El Salvador adopting it as its official currency, which we did talk about. It hasn't gone well since we've talked about it, and we'll see. Like, I think there's a case for Bitcoin. I think there is a case for Shopify, even though Shopify is down like 70 some odd %. But GameStop, again, I've said this before, it's a long walk off a short cliff there. So please do be careful. I just wanted to come out here and say it. Everybody's doing stock splits, and some are better than others. And a lot of people see the word stock split, so, oh, should I buy now? Should I buy after? This is one that you just probably should not buy, because you might make a few dollars that first few minutes, and then it's gone over the next 2 days or so. So just be very, very careful about that. Again, the stock split occurs, I think it was on the 21st, and you have to have shares on or before the 18th. Gonna double check that again. Yes, Thursday 21st. Thursday 21st is when the stock split occurs. Keep your eye on it. I'm just gonna watch it for entertainment, but I'm not entertained by losing money. And that is a high risk stock, and we have learned so far this year and last year and the year before that. All right, that's it for me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.